Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm here with who?
Brandon Carpenter.
And what did you just do?
I got 46th place at YCS Minneapolis with a pretty cool deck.
And what was the pretty cool deck? I know it was something with fluffy bears and toys.
Yeah, it was FLUFFALS.
You did so good with it. And you had a round 8 feature, correct?
Yep.
Against Max Reynolds.
I did.
I'll leave that link sometime in the description before the end of this weekend. So, tell me about your matches.
There's a lot of blue eyes. They said that represented most of the format today.
Yeah.
And
Magic Specters, right? Did you
I
play
had
a lot of them?
I had a couple Magic Spectre not mirrors, but matches. I had one Mermail match, and that was pretty much my whole day.
So what did you lose to?
I lost to a Blue Eyes deck, and I tied with Mage Specters.
Oh, okay. So let's see the deck.
Okay, to start off with, I play one Edgem Sabers. I don't play Allure of Darkness or anything like that, so I only need one of those. That's not really the key to the deck, but it helps a lot. It's searchable so that you can get into other things like your Tiger and maybe make your Sabers bigger or something.
Right.
Probably the best card in the deck is Fluffal Wings. You just send it to the graveyard with Toy Vendor on the field, and you plus off of it so hard that it's really difficult for them to come back off of that unless you just brick. Bear to search for Toy Vendor to make your wings playable. I never use its other effect to add poly from the graveyard to your hand. I guess it never came up. Dog to search for your other two pieces. I play 3 of each of them just so I can get to that combo right away.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful that you want it out there. Owl, because it searches poly. A lot of times you need that just because you want to get your plays going.
Yeah.
One of the best things in the deck is having Dog and going for Owl and using another normal summon for your Owl to get the poly and then going off from there. Cat. If I had poly in my hand and a play to make, I would always search Cat just because it adds back your poly from your graveyard so you can make your field bigger. Right. And that's one of the big OTK enablers, the Cat. Edgem Chain, I only run 2. Like I said, I don't run Allures or anything like that, but I milled it a lot today. I discarded it with Twin Twisters and stuff just to get the effect off, and it helped me quite a bit. There was a couple games where I was able to send them to the graveyard and use Frightful Fusions to bring out the sheep and keep playing from there. So this is a really good card too. 3 King of the Swamp. One of the reasons I only play 2 of the other Edge Imps is because I play 3 King of the Swamp. It's a fusion substitute for a named card, and you can search with poly off of it. So it's just really versatile for the deck, and it helps out a lot. I played 2 Gemini Garnet because I don't want to draw one and not be able to play my Brilliant Fusions. I didn't really play a single game today where I drew both of them, and I sided it out pretty often, but then I'd end up drawing it. So it's kind of harsh. There's a way to get it back in the deck by using the Edgem Sabers to put it back on top, and then you can play Brilliant Fusion. Yeah. But you have to get your Edgem Sabers to the graveyard, and normally you need your Brilliant Fusion to be able to start that process. So 2 is really good. Main deck Max C. I go second all the time, so this is almost necessary, and it's like having more Upstart Goblins in your deck. Just make your deck smaller and draw into your combo pieces faster, even if it's just one card you draw, or sometimes you can stop their whole play, because if they're going first, they don't want to put all their resources on the board and have you draw a whole bunch. So they're just going to stop and not bring out like their negation stuff or like Hope Harbinger or something. They'll just leave their 2 blue eyes on the field. So it's really good, even against Magic Specters. The new Magic Spectre deck right now, they play Ties of the Brethren, and they also have the Majesty's Pegasus, and they're pendulum summons, so Maxi is really good against them. Right. I play Triple Toy Vendor. This is the second best card in the deck. there's so many games where I'd open 2 or even 2 in a bear and just be able to go off from that. I'm not going to read it to you, but it's really good. Pick them up if you're going to play the deck. You kind of need them.
Right.
Play 3 Brilliant Fusion. A lot of times I would side 1 out, and I'd side out a Garnet just to fit in my side deck cards. But Brilliant Fusion is more than just an extra normal summon, which helps a lot. You can send your wings to the graveyard to start your Toy Vendor combos, and then you can also use the other effects to send Toy Vendor to the graveyard and get the Toy Vendor effect off, so then you can start comboing with that. One of the really cool things that I would do would, I'd send Toy Vendor to the graveyard and then search Fluffal Dog, and then I'd use Dog's effect to search Fluffal Owl, and then I'd use Owl's effect to search Polymerization, just because I had this in my hand. So this is almost necessary, I would think, when you're playing this deck. I only played 2 Polymerization.
No Dark Fusion?
No, I don't play Dark Fusion. That card's kind of gimmicky. It's really fun, but it's not for a consistent tournament. And I wanted to be able to play good for 8 rounds and not brick so much.
Right.
But everybody would say play 3 polys or whatever, or up 2 polys and a fusion substitute. I did that with an OTS that I won, but I would draw so many polys in my opening hand that I wish they would be some other combo card. And I decided to cut one for an Upstart Goblin, because Upstart Goblin can either be poly or any other card in your deck that can be good.
Right.
And I've so much search for poly already that I figured 2 was all I needed. So, I play 3 Instant Fusion. This is really pivotal to the OTK. You can Instant Fusion into Sheep. Fright for Sheep, and then you play Poly with another Fluffal or Fright Fur in your, or not Fright Fur, but Edgem Sabers in your hand, and then you go for Fright for Sabertooth. Sabertooth brings back Sheep from your graveyard, and then if you have another Poly or another way to fuse again, you can do it again, and that's OTK on board already, because each Sabertooth gives 400, and they start out at 2400 attack, so each of the Sabertooths would be 32 if you have 2 on the field. And then the Sheep is 28, and that's more than enough to kill them. And it's kind of cool with Norden too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know about that or not, but I play 2 Fright for Fusion. This came up a lot. This is my main way of getting into Fright for Wolf, which is an OTK card in itself.
Evil card, by the way.
It's pretty good. You can steal a lot of games with that, and I did all day yesterday. But Fright for Fusion is good because it is searched with Edgem Saw, or Chains, I mean, and it is a miracle fusion for hand or for your field or graveyard, and you don't really need to commit to any other resources than the ones you've already given up. And you can go into Tiger or Sabertooth if you have a Fright Fur in your graveyard already. It's just a really clutch card.
Right.
So I played 2 of them. They're really good. I played 1 Fright for Factory. This, you banish any fusion card from your graveyard, so it can be instant, poly, brilliant fusion, whatever, and then you get to fusion just like you would with a regular poly, and it's searchable because it's a Fright for card. So I would play this. I sided this out quite a bit just from space reasons, and I didn't really want to take out any of my other combo pieces. It's just kind of an extra poly that's searchable, and yeah, it's pretty good. I played 2 Twin Twisters. I main decked these. There was a lot of back row I saw all day, and it didn't matter whether it was Mage Specters or Blue Eyes. They were playing their Vanity's Emptinesses and Phoenix Wing Wind Blasts and stuff. This card comes in really handy because I have so many discard cards that I want to get sent to the graveyard to get effects with. And like, you'd look at your hand and be garbage until you'd play Twin Twister and discard a Toy Vendor, and it just come alive and you'd OTK off of that. So this card is really good. I have a really high standing for that. So Played one Upstart Goblin. This I replaced, like I said earlier, for the third Poly, just because it can be any other combo card in your deck, and it digs you deeper for your combo cards.
Yeah. You get phone call. I like that. Over 9,000.
That's my mom. That's her ringtone.
I was trying to put my mom's ringtone.
And the last card that I got so much shit for on Zodiac and like all the message boards that I put on is Pot of Desires, because this card is too good not to play. People would say, well, it's a combo deck. This is the only deck you can't play that in because you have to be able to get to your combo cards. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you search your damn combo cards first, and then you play Pot of Desires just to get that extra 1 or 2 fluffles in your hand so that you can go off on them. I won so many games today just because I had this in my deck and I was able to out-resource them. I'd want to go second every game, and by the time I get done drawing all the cards that I needed, they'd ask me how many cards in my hand, and be like 10 or 12 cards in my hand, just because of all the searching and comboing that I can do, including Pot of Desires. I wouldn't play this if I didn't have it, especially in this kind of tournament. If it was a locals, I mean, sure, like you can still squeak by with some of the other combos, but Pot of Desires adds so much consistency and draw power to the deck that you really need to keep up with the rest of the meta.
Right.
That's the main deck, 40 cards. I'm gonna move on to the extra deck right now. I played 3 Fright for Sheep. One of these would come out later on when Kraken comes out this spring.
Yeah.
But when you can get it out there, they can't respond with anything during the battle phase. There's a lot of times where I'd have a Sabertooth and a sheep out there, and I'd ram my sheep into their blue eyes just to make it bigger, and then I'd run over their blue eyes and attack them for however much, 20, 28, and it's really good. I play 3 because I can instant fusion it, and then I Fright for Fusion, and there was 2 different games today where all 3 of them came up, so that's really good. I play 1 Fright for Wolf. I only go into this if I have the OTK. There was never a game today where I wanted to go into more than 1. It's so good. You can attack up to the number of materials you use. It doesn't matter if the materials come from your hand or if you banish them from your graveyard. As long as you make this with materials, you win. So it's really good. It gets bigger with all the other Fright for cards, and yeah, you kind of need that. I won probably half a dozen games yesterday because of this card. Fright for Tiger. This guy,
my favorite one.
You clear their board with him, and then you OTK with everything else. On Education with the cat, they made a ruling that if you fuse with cat into Tiger, you can choose your chain links just like they can in the OCG and stuff, because Fluffal Cat has different wording than a lot of other things like Shadal's maybe or whatever, because this has to activate only if you successfully fusion summon a monster, and just because of the timing issues, you'd be able to activate them in
which chain link?
Which chain? So if I had my option of building the chain, I would put Tiger chain link 1, Cat chain link 2, so if they strike anything it'd be Cat, but I can't do that because I asked the head judge before the tournament, and he said that the ruling right now is that Tiger has to be chain link 2 because the cat hits the graveyard first. He said that the ruling has been submitted to R&D, and he asked them if they have had a ruling on it yet and made a decision, and they said they'll get to it. So I don't know when they're going to get to it. It might be 10 years from now or never, but that's R&D for you. Thanks Konami.
Yeah.
I can say that because I'm getting out of the game after this, but they can't ban me for anything if I'm already quitting.
Anyway.
But yeah, I really like Tiger. He's cool. He also boosts all your Fright for monsters by 300 for each Fright for card and Fluffal card on the field, including himself. And that is really good OTK potential. Either you poly this from your hand, you can use King of the Swamp because it has a named card in the text, or you can use your Edge Imp Sabers and like Fright for Fusion or Poly or whatever, so it's really good.
Okay.
Clearing boards for the OTK. Play 3 Sabertooth. There were so many games today where I'd go into all 3 of them just because it's really easy. You instant fusion into your sheep, or you can poly into something, and then you play another poly and make a Sabertooth. The Sabertooth brings back sheep or whatever else you used. Then you play another one, and then this brings back whatever, and then you play another one, and this brings back whatever, and you have lots and lots of damage on board, and they cry.
Okay.
So, he's about half the OTKs I made today involved him.
Yeah.
I played 2 Seraphonites since I play 3 Brilliant Fusion, 3 Garnet, why not? I had a little bit of extra room in my extra deck that I kind of wanted to play 2. It came up a couple times, and I was able to plus really hard off of it just because my wings and toy vendor. So his extra normal summon is also really good, and I really love the card. Played 1 Norden. I don't know why I played this. I heard it's good, so.
Just a little bit.
Played 1 Castell just because it kind of goes with the Norden. So I made Castell once and it got Solemn Warning, but I was able to bait out the Solemn Warning that I figured the guy had, and was able to OTK from there. Play 1 Volcasaurus. I made that a couple times. Use this with your sheep or your Seraphonites, and you can get rid of problem cards or just burn them for game.
Yeah.
And he's pretty cool. And then 1 Black Rose Dragon because of Norden and a card I have in my side deck. It came up once, but it won me the whole match, so I'm really happy I put it in here. And yeah, onto my side deck. I used to play Gamma Seal, but I decided to switch over to Kumungus.
Ooh, the 80 spider.
Just because I can run it over pretty easy in defense, and normally I would just stick it in attack mode, and if I have, my reasoning behind running this over Gamma Seal is if you have the Fright for Sheep and Sabertooth on the field, you can ram your sheep into this and tie for suicide, and then your sheep comes back with 28, and you can attack with 28. So I figured this is a little more relevant than Gamma Seal just because of that combo, and it happened all the time with Blue Eyes. I'd tribute in against their Spirit Synchro monster and then just OTK them.
Okay.
1 Raigeki, 1 Dark Hole, side this in against Blue Eyes. It's really good. It's hard for them to respond to it, and there were so many games that I'd Dark Hole 1 monster and then just OTK them from there because they set something or whatever, and then the Raigeki came up a lot. I'd make a big board and they'd think they'd be safe, and then I'd Raigeki, and then they'd have this really severe look of depression on their face, and I'd be alright with that.
Right.
My 3rd Twin Twisters, it's pretty good, so I put that in there. Typhoon 2016, Zach Butler. With Typhoon, I figured it'd be good against Pendulums, but I sided it in against my Mage Spectre matchups because I'd be able to hit like their Majesty's Pegasus or their Scales or whatever.
You knew that they didn't have like the other opposite scale for.
Exactly.
Like,
sometimes it.
Did you hit any spell fragrance?
Yeah, you can hit that too.
I mean, did you hit one this weekend?
No, I did not hit an anti-spell Typhoon, but it was in there because I would want to. I didn't have to go against any Burning Abyss or PK Fire, so I guess that didn't really matter. But there was 1 game where I hit a scale of the Mage Spectre, and then he had 1 card in his hand. I had a full board that would be able to OTK him next turn. He top decked the other scale that he needed and was able to win from there, but that kind of sucked. I also typhooned my own toy vendor yesterday, and that won me a game because you can target 1 face-up spell or trap on the field. It doesn't have to be your opponent's, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I played 2 Ghost Ogres. This is why I play Black Rose Dragon, but it also helps against a lot of other things. I feel if you're not really side decking Ghost Ogre right now, you're probably doing something wrong. Ghost Ogre is just so good right now, just because of all the effects of things that have to stay on the board. So
Like Eternal Soul.
yeah, and she's pretty cute too. So whatever. I played 2DD Crow. I figured if I had to go against like PK Fire or Blue Eyes, it's kind of versatile and be able to go against both of them. I never sighted it in all day, so that's kind of saying something. I played 2 Flying C because I figured I'd have to go against either Burning Abyss, PK Fire, or the Minerva deck, and I actually did play it against Minerva deck. That was one of my matches yesterday, I forgot to say. And he brought out 2 level 4s, and I Flying C'd him, and he wasn't able to do anything, and I OTK'd him. You might hear me say OTK a lot, because that's kind of what this deck does, and it's really fun. And then Denkaseka won me...
You shut up a lot of face down stuff, huh?
Yeah, shuts down everything. And this deck is so much like Shadal's that it's just kind of reminds me of when I used to play them, and Denkaseka was something that I really liked. You can't fuse it to make a construct, but you can make subpar things with your polys that Denkaseka can shut down their spells and traps and allow you to keep playing and OTK them. And I was able to do that against my Mage Spectre matchups. And I drew him every time I sided him in, so that made me really happy. And he's way too good. I was thinking about main decking it. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I went against mostly Blue Eyes, but if you saw a lot of Mage Spectres in like your tournament or whatever, maybe try one main deck. It's pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
Besides,
What you got else?
one of my buddies bought me some sleeves for my tokens.
Make a Gyarados. Make a shiny Gyarados.
And they kind of go with my tokens.
Oh my god.
I thought I wanted to brag a little bit.
Past.
But thank you, Cordero, for your deck profile.
No problem.
And thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh, for giving me many, many years of playing. Quitting the game. And
He'll be
I
back.
love all you guys. So,
All right,
peace.
thanks.